This week on Run Junkie, NCAA tidbits,
NXN versus Foot Locker debate,
and tips on how to shed the weight you gained from Thanksgiving last week.
Really?
No. All on this week's episode of
Run Junkie!
Welcome back from Thanksgiving break, Alex. You're looking rather trim. I wasn't really expecting that.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I'm actually wearing a corset because I didn't run a turkey trot this year, but a lot of people across the country did. It's the most races in one day in the U.S.
Wow. And the fastest one in the country this year was the Silicon Valley 5K out in California, where David McNeil set a course record. He was just in front of two collegiates, Steven Sambu, who redshirted, looks to be in good shape, and Diego Estrada, who's just coming off of NCAA's, like, what, 2 days before that?
Just a couple days, and Estrada was rocking the USA top. And behind those guys, Ritzenheim. He's back, he's healthy, we're excited for the trials. And another shout out goes to Mr. Jordan McNamara. He's been on our radar since Belgium. He's been running great all summer long. Where will he be come Olympic trials
beat
time?
Ritz this week. That's pretty sweet. And Jackie Arison on the women's side looks like she's having a good transition with Alberto Salazar. Beat the rest of the Americans in that race by like 22 seconds. And quick shout out on the East Coast to Sally Kipyego and Brian Olinger winning that big Manchester race. Good to see Brian Olinger back winning some races.
Now, the biggest news from the weekend, obviously one of the biggest days in Flotrack history, and NCAAs. All right, shout out to the USF girls who opened up our show. Congratulations on your first appearance at NCAAs, and another shout out to our sponsor, Saucony. They brought the fun for the tailgate. There was food, there was burgers, there was a live band, there was everything you could want from a tailgate.
And don't even forget all those mustaches we saw. But also at NCAAs, the things you look for are the surprises. And I want to say the surprise of the weekend for us, I think, went to Oregon women, who finished 5th overall. They were only ranked 16th going in. Awesome, awesome job. But the other thing you look for is the bomb. Who is destructive? And you look over the years, 2008, Oklahoma State, German Fernandez, ranked #1, they finished 8th. 2009, Jenny Behringer collapsed. And then 2010, David McNeil's debacle, where I don't even know where he ended up finishing.
I don't know, in the hundreds, triple digits, I don't know.
So when you look at bombs, there were really no bombs from any of the contenders. The Arizona women, they were ranked 8th, they finished 19th, but like I said, they weren't really in the mix to win.
Yeah, Florida State ranked #1, finished 4th, but they really didn't run that bad. They only lost by 27 points and at a 34-second spread.
Which was the best spread of any team in the top 10 in that race.
Some other surprises from this weekend. 14 women broke 20 minutes.
Yes, and that almost doubles the number of 8 women, which was the most before that in 2005 and 2002.
And then on the guy side, Lelang runs the second fastest time ever, just 3 seconds behind Chalanga's record.
And this is the first time in Terre Haute history where 2 guys have broken 29 minutes in the same race at Nationals. Chris Derrick second there.
Now, moving on to the what-ifs.
The what-ifs. We gotta love the what-ifs. Cross country, you always look at the results. If this person finished here, if they finished there, it doesn't matter because it's not gonna happen, but it's fun to do, so let's do it. The biggest what-if for the weekend, I'd have to say, is Iowa State Cyclones on the women's side, a team you probably wouldn't expect. They have the best top 3 in the nation. They only amount to 40 points. They lose a transfer, Alfina Tuliamuk, who finishes like 10th overall in this race. If she's on that team from last year to this year, they all of a sudden win this meet by 36 points.
And on the men's side, Oklahoma State, you gotta wonder, if Germa ran identical from 2010, Oklahoma State wins by 5 points.
Ooh, it hurts.
All right, this weekend I'm gonna make my first trip out to Portland. I'm gonna be able to check out NXN, hanging out with all of the Nike athletes. Ryan, what are you gonna be doing this weekend?
Probably sitting at home, watching on the internet.
I bet you don't even put on pants.
That's
the whole weekend.
That's besides the point, Alex. The point of this weekend is about the team titles on the line, and on the guys' side, who are we looking for?
We're definitely looking at Christian Brothers Academy. They've been ranked #1 all year long. The #2 team, they've been waiting to meet each other all year long, South Lake Carroll. But don't forget, out of the West Coast, the returning champs, Arcadia, they're gonna have something to say about it.
And also got 2 teams out of Utah duking it out this year.
American Fork and Davis, don't forget.
Now it's going to be a great team one. The one on the women's side is one I'm looking for. Are we going to see New York domination for the 6th year in a row?
May probably. Let's be honest here. Fayetteville Manly scored 27 points last year. 27. They've won 5 straight national titles. Can anybody take them down? I don't know. It's going to be tough. They don't have their top 2 runners from last year. Rutledge is out with back problems. You got Heather Martin that's out. So they are filling in with some new people here. Now, don't forget about some serious individual battles on the line. Yes, on the men's side, the field might be a little weaker than 2010, but you have one of the best in the country in Futsum Zena Selassie. He's been dominating all year, and it looks like he will do the same this weekend at NXN. Behind him, it should be a great battle for who's the best of the rest.
You got Tony Smorgowitz from South Dakota, Jake LeLang from North Dakota, Daniel Vertiz and Craig Nowak out of Texas, Nick Ryan from New York, and Luis Martinez, who won the Southwest region.
Man, it looks like Dakota's producing some pretty stud athletes this year, Ryan, but what about the women's side?
The women's side should be even better of a battle. You have 7 of the top 10 die stack ranked girls in this race, and leading the charge is Jillian Fanning. Now, her teammate, who's the top returner from last year, we mentioned Christy Rutledge, isn't in the race. Fanning stepped up into that role and has really taken off. And when you look down through the list, with her, Sarah Baxter, the California state champ, you have Katie Knight and Amy Eloise Neal. The duo from Washington have been duking it out all year. And another duo from Delaware, Julie Macedo and Haley Pierce. Mary Kane of New York rounds out that top 10. Alex, this race is going to be disgusting.
Now, don't forget about the NXN competitor, Foot Locker. There were 3 regionals decided this past weekend, and then this weekend is the California regional.
Yeah, this past week you saw Edward Cheserat destroy course record by 12 seconds out there in New York. He runs 15:20, breaking John Gregoric's record that's like, I don't know, 87,000 years old, maybe 34. And Gregoric, you look at him, he was a 2-time Olympian in the steeplechase, and he was also a 351 miler. So
that is legit. But you know who else is? Futsum Zena Selassie.
Oh, God,
he wins the deepest, probably the deepest region by 12 seconds.
You must be talking about that Midwest region, which is very similar story on the women's side, where Molly Siddell won that. She beat the top Foot Locker returner, Aaron Finn, who finished 3rd in that race. A quick shout out also to the other winners this weekend, Angel Picarello out in the Northeast, Craig Nowak and Callie Roper winning the South. They're from Texas.
Now I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the young guns coming up. The only sophomore individual qualifier, Addison DeHaven from Brookings, South Dakota. He's the son of Olympic marathoner Rod the Bod DeHaven. And then a freshman girl out of North Carolina, Elena Hodley. She's a freshman, just getting right in it, you know, diaper dandy.
Wow.
Yeah, all right, closing it out. Like I said, I'm gonna be out in Portland this weekend for NXN. Check out pre-race interviews, course previews, and we're gonna give you all the links, all the live feeds. You know how we do it. We'll get it, we'll cover it.
And we also want to give a shout out, looking back at last week, to our contributors that have helped us, not only at NCAA Cross, but we put out the blog last week just thanking everybody for all the work they've done this year. You mentioned this, one of the biggest days ever, NCAA Cross, and that was the help of the community and all this coverage we had. It was awesome. And, you know, also Chris Schroll, a new guy.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
And put up those Foot Locker South videos, awesome. And Alex, any favorite moments with RJ and Jesse and Kevin from last week?
You know, my favorite moment had to be at the Steak and Shake with the amazingly disappointing burgers, but the mint chocolate chip Mastodon chocolate shake thing that you had.
Now, if you're interested in contributing and want to join us for disgusting food and really improving your health, then hit us up. Run Junkie at Flotrack.org.
Anybody can help us out, guys. Even Andrew Weeding is trying to help, you know, with the interviewing this weekend.
So I'm here with Jessica Darnall. She's sitting about 3rd right now. So Jessica, tell us about the race. How's it going so far? So do you think maybe you might want to start your kicks sometime soon? You're looking pretty strong and pretty fit. Okay, not much of a talker.
Pretty good. What do you think, Ryan?
He should really keep his arm really tucked in a
Yeah,
little
do
more.
some form drills.
Yeah.
We want you. You know what else we want you to do? Like us on Facebook. Come on, it's right there. It's like where?
It's over here.
It's like right underneath Ryan's belt-ish over that region. You know,
you're disgusting.
reach on over there.
Also, don't forget, you saw last week, Flotrack Tour is coming out. Join us in London 2012 for the Olympic Games. It's going to be a blast. You've got your fix. We'll see you next week.